Alright, this is Excellent Men Legends 245. It is a chapter of the Age of Egg crossover story thingamabob. Before I get into the nitty gritty of what exactly Age of Egg is, one thing I think needs immediate praise is that they did this crossover, they did this story, Age of Egg, and it is quite contained. It is just 6 issues long, and they are all by the same writer. It shows a surprising amount of restraint. This is a good cover showing us these new versions of Excellent Men characters. And this is chapter 1 of Age of Egg. It is written by Michael Lucifer and the art is by Clayface. And what this is, it's kind of your basic alternative reality / reality warp thing. Everything was reset and now all the Excellent Men look different, and a lot of them have new names or setups. Like this here is Thunderpath, except he has a completely new look. And in this world, he is called Berserker. And then he does nothing of note in the rest of the Age of Egg story. In this warped world, the Excellent Men never existed, and muties are hunted to extinction. And now the last surviving muties have all banded together, and they have a fortress, and they fight off invasions from the army that is trying to kill them. It is very much like a fantasy style epic, but with muties. They have a fortress that they have to defend, and they are constantly fighting off incursions and attacks by an army. We have loads of different Excellent Men show up throughout, but I'll only gather the important ones as they show up in the story. We have great art by Clayface, some interesting redesigns. This is before he got stuck drawing Tom Queen comics. And here is our first helping of main characters. Our main character is Rouge down here. And it dawned on us when I was rereading this how we often have these big Excellent Men crossovers, but Rouge is very rarely the focus of them. We also have Mr. Magnets, and he is the king of all muties. He is like the general, he is the leader, and also he is banging Rouge because Michael Lucifer was really into that awful ship. Mr. Magnets in Rouge, in my opinion, it is one of the worst ships in the Excellent Men books. So here is Cannonballs. Cannonballs, in this world, he is basically filling Cyclist's role. He is like the field leader of all the Excellent Men. He is still a fairly minor character in the overall Age of Egg story. But here we are introduced to him, seeing him in action against a tank. Tanks, but no tanks. And then we have some other characters, but only 2 of them are worth noting. We have Ed Gambit, and our here is Vixen. They will be important characters in the story. Tempest, on the other hand, well, she dies in 5 pages' time. So the Excellent Men, they are always having to fight off the army and defend their ground. And then we get to Cyclist. In this world, he doesn't wear his glasses or his visor. Instead, he wears a metal face mask, and he has a dark, tortured past. I generally didn't much care for what is done with Cyclist in this story. We will get onto that later. But one of his little subplots is that the real Cyclist, his personality, his leadership skills and stuff like that, they are coming to the surface here, and as such, him and Cannonballs are often at odds. And then Tempest dies, like I said she would, and whenever a mutie dies, they have Rouge come and absorb all their memories just before they die, so they can kind of live on forever and never be forgotten. Like, they live on inside of her, sort of. Rouge, she doesn't really like this being her role, and some of the other excellent men, like Cannonballs, they have started calling her Reaper, and they have come to dread her showing up, because it usually means that one of them has probably died. Then we have the heavy hitters, the 5 characters who are like the excellent men's big tanks and MVPs. We have Onision. It's alright to not know who that is. She's fairly minor. We have Rachel Fenix, Elian Keller, Dan Stevens from the telly up front, and then Fetish Fuel. And these 5 are not only the most powerful, but they are essential to the excellent men's survival in this world, because together they use their telekinetic abilities to erect a force field around their little mutie annex, which stops most of the attempts to attack or invade. But the reverse side of that is that none of the excellent men have ever ventured outside the walls of this dome since this war began. Now it is character time. We have little bits setting up some of the characters and fleshing them out. Dan Stevens here, his stepmom, Bo and Myra, is overprotective and nagging him. And then we have Vixen. And something I do like about this story is that it doesn't just focus on the same 4 excellent men like they always do. Wolfman, for example, is barely in it. Storms is a background character at best. Emma Frosties, she's only in like 5 panels of the whole story. This is Wolfman here. He just operates a bar for them. He's kind of retired. One thing that this story lacks is this world, it isn't... Well, actually, I'll just say it. I didn't think you ever even get a map of this little pocket that they occupy. So this world is obviously not built very clearly. Stuff like them having a bar, it's like something that seems odd. You never really know what they have access to or how much land they have at their disposal. By the way, this is not an alternative reality. Not really. This is a reality warp. These are all the mainstream versions of these characters, just in a mishmash world. And a good example of this is that Tempest, who you just saw die, Well, when things are set back to normal at the end, she is still dead. The characters, they all retain memories of this. And then we have something I hate, which is Cyclist. He is in a relationship with Vixen. I'll moan at length about this in another chapter. It spins out of a spectacular misunderstanding and misreading of Cyclist's relationship with Emma Frosty's. But when it comes to relationships, here is one I can definitely get on board with. Fetish Fuel and Snowman. They are banging. It's no wonder that Snowman turned gay. He had experienced all the best women in the Marvel Universe, so there was nothing left for him. The only way to keep things exciting for him, going forward, was for him to switch to cock. But our main character is Rouge, and one of the big things is that everything is not as it seems. So one night, when she is out walking, she encounters a soldier boy who has somehow infiltrated their little realm. Someone who has somehow gotten through the force field and crossed over into their grounds. And what is that? It is Buffy Pride. What is going on? Why is Buffy Pride a soldier boy? And then Mr. Magnets, he takes Buffy Pride away to hold as a prisoner, but he has a secret prison under the ground that he has hid from everyone else, and he is keeping secrets and lying to everyone about the outside world and stuff like that. And look, he has other prisoners, and one of them is Emma Frosty's, and that makes me very, very angry. And also, the main one is Dr. X. He has Dr. X as a prisoner, but Emma Frosty's is where my true love lies. I didn't know how to really conclude this one. I think there is some nice stuff in there. There is some good ideas or good directions, but at the same time, there are some that I really, really cannot run with. I think I will fall on the side of positive with this one. I can mostly appreciate the positives here. Firstly, that it is not an over-bloated, meandering crossover. It is just 6 chapters long, which means it can be easily read and easily followed, or on the other hand, easily skipped. The art is very good. We have some excellent redesigns, and I like that we are looking at characters who either didn't often get to take the lead in the big stories, like Rouge or Ed Gambit, or characters like Vixen and Dan Stevens, who certainly have never had this level of story revolve around them. In fact, Dan Stevens, I won't spoil this story. I could easily just up front tell you what is happening, but that would really ruin reading it. But Dan Stevens, this is another one of them stories that made us go, yeah, you know what? There is maybe something to this character. I think this is a fantastic story for him. He's not the schizophrenic, reality warping bad guy. He is just one of the excellent men. He is one of the excellent men's most valued members. And after this story resolves, we get to see that carry over to the real world briefly. I think I stand by my original point I said when I saw an advert for this. This is one of the few Excellent Men stories that came out after coming second that is worth at least a flip through. I will give it a 7 thumbs up.